Whatever you do, stay present. The power of who you are and what we have exists in the now. Being totally present in this moment, not dwelling in the past and not jumping too far ahead into the future, but staying right here in the present, in the now. This is where it is. This is the actual sweet spot where you have appreciation, where you have gratitude. Always be in a position of forgiveness for the past and always stay hopeful for the future. But don't dwell there. Dwell right here in the present, in the now. This is where the real power is. It's not in a virtual world that's being created. It's in the current world that you're in, where you are real. Your spirit is real. Your energy is real. The connections that you have with your family and friends are real. So this is where you stay. If you don't want to have any regrets, if you don't want to be in a space where you're constantly just trying to pull on old memories, or if you don't want to be tormented by traumatic memories of your past, if you don't want to be anxious about tomorrow or what's to come, just stay in the present, in this very moment, right now. That's all we have, right now. And then that's it. And then you get another right now and another. Thank you so much for tuning into my show, Joanna J Today, where I share with you what's going on with me and what's going on in the world today. So please be sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, and always tune in for any new information that I have to share with you. What I'm bringing to you today is just a message about staying in the present, staying in the now, and the power of now, the power of the now. So there was a book that I read by well-known writer Eckhart Tolle, and it was about the power of now. And he also had a sequel or a workbook that goes along with that called Practicing the Power of Now. So why I'm bringing this to you right now is because we're living in a climate where things are changing and society and the world as we know it is changing rapidly. And there's this push to get society to move into this virtual existence in this virtual world. So as we all know, social media is very, very big. It's a very huge platform. There's many different platforms of social media that you can engage in on a daily basis, 24 hours a day. So a lot of our attention is being pulled in that direction. But what is important right now is that it's going to the next level. As you may have heard, Facebook has changed its names to Metaverse, and it is creating this new virtual world or this new virtual reality. And this reality or this new virtual augmented reality is actually thought to become a $1 trillion business or $1 trillion virtual industry. And this is really significant because you're going to need lots of energy, lots of people, time, and attention in order to create this new world, as well as keep it afloat and to keep it exciting and to keep people engaged. People are very much engaged in different social media platforms with their time and their attention, their energy, their lives, their experiences, their work, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions. They pour so much of themselves into these platforms, and that's the current level of engagement that we have with one another. What's going on around us is that there's a real undercurrent, a real battle that's occurring, a real fight, a real war for the minds, the body, the soul of the people. And I say this because just thinking about social media and the amount of attention that it grabs. You can just look around yourself at any given day. You can be with your friends or your family or just looking at someone in your neighborhood, and you will see that people may be within the same vicinity of each other, but they're not engaged with each other. So they may be on their smart device, whether it's a phone, iPad, or computer, but they're together, but alone together. There's still that disconnect because their attention is pulled and drawn into that social media platform. So the reason why I wanted to make this video for you all is to talk to you about the importance of staying present, having your attention to yourself and being in the present moment, being in the now. And it reminded me of this book that I read by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, how to stay in the present moment, to not be so not be pulled so far into the future that you're missing everything that's occurring in this moment, and not be so far in the past that you're still missing what's occurring in the moment. So this is a little twofold that I wanted to share with you. I actually just recently saw a movie called Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman as one of the main characters, as well as Tandy Newton as his co-star. And in this particular movie, I think it was just released in 2020, but they put this device on their head, and what you can do is go back into your memories, and you can recall like wonderful times in your life, or you can even recall something that terrible that happened if you're trying to, bring some closure for yourself. But nonetheless, one aspect of the movie showed how people were getting addicted to going into this little time capsule to relive those fond memories that they had. And it was becoming very addictive to the point where people were not living in reality. And so this really makes me think about where the metaverse is going. So this big virtual reality is currently being created. Millions and millions and billions of dollars is being poured into this virtual world that's developing. And it's developing to a point where you will be able to work, to be able to play, socialize, do leisure things, interact with your friends and family, and even have holograms of old family members that may have passed away. So it's really something that is dynamic, but it's also something that is pulling from the reality of who we currently are and the world in which we're currently living in. So just to kind of tie these things together, the book, The Power of Now, focuses on you staying in the present. Because what we know about staying in the present and the significance of being in the now is that the now is all that we have. And one of the first lessons in The Power of Now is understanding and realizing that time is really an illusion. It's not real. It's just a measurement tool to help you gauge or keep track of or document or have record of something that may have happened in the past, or for you to plan your future. So in terms of, well, yesterday I did X, Y, and Z, and tomorrow or next week or a month, or if I have goals 5 years from now, I plan to do ABC. So that's what time is used for, more so of a tool. But when we get too attached to it in terms of constantly living in the past, so whether that was a memory that you're super fond of, or maybe it was something traumatic that you keep reliving over and over. When you spend too much time in the past, it can lead to issues like depression, because you're reliving something that's not currently happening. And the flip side of that coin, in terms of time, when you are too focused on the future, so say for instance you have a goal or something that you're working on or something you're anticipating happening next year or next month or next week, or a big event coming at work, so, or at school, or wherever you may be, something that you're planning for the future. If you're spending too much time or energy and too much of yourself in the future for something that has not yet happened, it can cause you to become anxious. It can cause you to have anxiety because you're constantly anticipating something that has not occurred. So being too far and living in the past, or dwelling in the past, or being too far in the future with planning and anticipation can cause a disruption in our mood, in our energy, in our vibration, and in our psyche. So the sweet spot to be, so that you're not, experiencing depression or anxiety with staying too far in the past, or living in the past, or being too far in the future, is staying in the present moment. So the present is really what's real, and what's really all we have is this very moment right now. And then that's it. This very moment, and then it's gone. So how do you stay, or how do you know that you're actually in the present? And it's actually a simple exercise to do on a daily basis. Is if you find yourself spending too much time thinking about things that have already occurred and that are no longer happening in the present moment, then you're not being in the present. You're not operating in the power of now. If you find yourself constantly thinking about tomorrow, I gotta do this, then you're also not operating within the power of now. But if you find that you're taking this very moment to be in this moment and have your attention connected to this very moment, it helps you stay grounded. It keeps you from having regret in life. And I say that because, say for instance, you're with your friends or your family and everyone is on their phone. Say, okay, so there's a holiday coming up. Say it's Christmas, and all your family and friends have gotten together at one location. But everyone is in the same space, but they're on their device. So everyone's like this. They're looking at their phone, or they're on the computer, or on their iPad, or whatever their smart device is. So they're in that same space together at this celebratory time, but yet they're not totally connected. Their attention is elsewhere. And so what happens in those type of situations, if you have a cumulative effect of that type of occurrence or event, that will lead to regret. You will regret not having captured or fully experienced that person when you had an opportunity to experience that person. And that leads me to what I was sharing about social media and the new development of what social media is going towards. So social media and the internet is transitioning into this new augmented virtual world, where more of your energy, more of who you are, more of your attention is being pulled into something that's not real, into a virtual existence. And it's going to be created in a way that is going to be fun, is going to be entertaining. There's not going to be any social distancing. There's not going to be any diseases or illnesses that you have to battle with. It's just going to be a grand old time. And you get to interact with everyone. You get to actually see real emotion attached to these avatars that will live and be within this virtual world. So it's a very, very tricky and exciting, but also a little scary time that we're living in. But my position is that I want people to not forget who they ultimately are, that we are actually spiritual beings having a physical experience, and the connections that we have with each other are what are the things that are important, those real life connections and interactions. Because once this moment is gone, it's gone. And that's the tricky thing about time, and why I say time is an illusion. It's not real. All that we really have are a string of daylights and nightfalls. That's what we have, is daylight and nightfall. But it's not so much an actual time in terms of it's 5 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock, or it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, it's Thursday, or it's January, February, March. There are seasons, but there's not that concrete time that we use to gauge things. And sometimes we get so stuck in living in the past, whether it's something very memorable in a good way, or if it's something traumatic in a bad way. We spend too much time doing that without being in the present and appreciating what we currently have and what we're currently experiencing. So that is the good thing and the sweet thing about being in the present moment. You have appreciation for what currently is. And that's where I want to encourage people to be, in this present moment. Not too far in the past, not too far in the present, but in the very present moment that you're in, and enjoying that and actually taking advantage of that time. The power is in the now, this very moment. It's not in the past, because the past no longer exists. It's not in the future, because the future has not arrived. It is in the present moment. That's all that we have. This moment, this moment, and this moment, and this moment. That is it. If you are struggling or have issues with anxiety or depression, and you're not in a position where you're able to seek professional help, just do this exercise of staying in the present moment. If you find that your thoughts are racing and it's too far in the past about things that have already happened, but they are not currently happening, or if you find that your thoughts are too much in the future in anticipation of something that may possibly happen but still has not happened, just pull yourself back in and stay in this present moment where there is peace and there is quietness, and there is solitude, and there's a peace of mind just in this moment, nothing else. And that's all that we have, is this moment and this moment and this moment and this moment. So practice that for yourself to help relieve any fears that you may have, any anxiety or depression that you may have. Always remember to forgive the past, be hopeful for the future, and stay in the present. Until next time, thank you again for joining me on my show, Joanna J. Today, where I share with you what's going on with me and what's going on in the world. Definitely hit the like button, be sure to leave a comment, and always subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.